Hello, my friends. My name is Gerdes, and here are the three big stories, and then some side story that is really important, like a drone strike that you just want to see, and the reason why this is important to watch. Okay, so the first story, J.D. Vance, he's a senator from Ohio, says it is shameful for politicians to focus on Ukraine rather than the border. Now, he's the kind of Republican that doesn't want to spend money on Ukraine one way or the other. And so I think he's using the border as a pretext, but he really does want the border, but I don't think he actually does want Ukraine. Senator Vance on Sunday ripped into congressional colleagues who he argued are obsessed with funding for Ukraine rather than the situation at the U.S. southern border. Well, I think it's so shameful that you have all these people whose job it is to look after the American people and lead this country, but they're obsessed with Eastern Europe and with Ukraine, Vance said. Well, there's a reason for that, and that's because Ukraine has the potential to become World War III if it's not handled carefully. So it's a very important thing, and that's as negligent as not dealing with the border issue. Okay, so number two, here's a different perspective. Senate Intelligence Vice Chair Rubio predicts neither Russia nor Ukraine will be able to claim true victory after the war. There's no way that the Russian Federation takes Ukraine, all of Ukraine, or half of Ukraine, and that was Putin's goal from the beginning, the Republican poll told Fox News Sunday. On the other side of it, the reality of it is that Ukraine is small compared to Russia in terms of size and its ability to bring scale. So his conclusion was neither side is going to be able to achieve victory as defined in the most idealistic terms, Rubio predicted. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Rubio argued that the best path forward is to strengthen Kyiv's hand as much as possible ahead of the potential negotiations for an end to the deadly conflict. I'm not sure that I like the sound of that, but let's keep reading. Ukrainian officials are not going to have leverage if Putin feels like he has the upper hand, and that he has ways to gain and force Ukraine into a situation where they will become basically a satellite state, which is what he wants. And he's right about that. That's what Russia wants, is for Ukraine to be a satellite state. Okay, third, this is Mike Turner being interviewed on Sunday as well. He's a Republican congressman. We have to support Ukraine. The speaker does support Ukraine. And I do think that probably the most important development that occurred last week was the minority leader Hakeem Jeffries came forward, he's a Democrat, and said that Democrats will not join with a small number of Republicans I frequently refer to as the Chaos Caucus, those are MAGA Republicans, who say to the speaker that we will remove the speaker if he moves forward on Ukraine, moves forward on spending bills. They cannot do that without Democrat support. So if they say we want to get rid of the speaker, if the Democrats don't join them, their threats are meaningless. That's what happened before with the previous speaker. All the Democrats voted with those few that were voting to remove the speaker, and that's how we got that chaos before. So that was a big step. So you had three different views of how different Republicans are processing this, and again, Zelensky's argument, freedom must be armed, better than tyranny, still stands. While we're talking about that, let's view this. I'm going to stop it just before it hits, but this is a drone pilot's view from the 3rd Assault Brigade that hit the jackpot. And we're going to stop before it actually hits anything. That's a drone. Okay. Those guys are in a world of trouble. If you want to see that video, you can see it on your own, but I'm not going to provide that for YouTube. And if you feel bad for any of these Russian soldiers here, know this. This woman and her child were killed by Putin in Russia. This woman and her child, they're not combatants. They were killed by Russia. That's all that I have. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.